G'day guys, my name's Dave Tran and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. And in this lesson, I'll be teaching you how to play Señorita by Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. In this lesson, I'll teach you how to play the studio version as well as the electric guitar riff, which is a lot of fun to play, but I'll also teach you how to play a super simplified version for the beginners out there. If you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to take your guitar to the next level, then sign up to GZ2H Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. For the basics of this song, you will need your guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a CAPO. The guitar I'm playing here today is a Cole Clark Fat Lady 2 with Elixir strings. Let's start with a super simplified version, and this is going to be great for beginners. If you want to skip to the studio version, then just follow the timestamp up here. For the super easy version, we just have one chord progression that's basically just played throughout the whole song. The chord progression goes like this. We have an A minor, then we have a C chord, and then we have an F chord. Now you can play an F bar chord like this if you want, but personally I like playing an F major 7. So from your C chord shape, your pinky just comes down onto the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and your middle finger comes down to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. You want to leave the 1st string open, and your thumb will reach over the top to hit the 1st fret of the 6th string. That's F major 7. That's the F that I like to play for this. If you can't reach that thumb over the top to hit that 1st fret, then you can just strum from the 5th string onwards, and that will sound okay as well. And then we have an E minor, and then G. Now we have a pretty easy strumming pattern here that goes like this. Down, 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 up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now you're going to play that strumming pattern once for the first 3 chords, and then the E minor to the G is going to be within one strumming pattern, and the point at which you're going to change chords is on the up strum highlighted in the annotation here. So from the E minor to the G, down, 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 up, down, up. And in total, the simple chord progression will sound like this. Now there's only one exception to that chord progression, and that is in the second pre-chorus. What we have is an A minor for one strumming pattern, and then after that we have a C and a G in another strumming pattern. But this strumming pattern is going to differ a little bit, so just refer to the annotation here, but it'll go down, 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 up, down, up, down, down. So you go to the G on the last 2 down strums, and this variation to the chord progression sounds like this. And that's just in the second pre-chorus of the song. But everywhere else in the song, you can use that 5-chord chord progression. Alright, let's get to the studio version now, and this is going to involve some finger picking. First, I'll show you how it is in the recording, and then I'll show you a more sort of easy open chord version of playing the same rhythm effectively that's fairly close and a little easier if you hate playing bar chords. For the real version, we're going to start with an A minor bar chord like this. We have 2 lines of tab here. For our first bar, we'll start by plucking the 6th string, and then we'll pluck the 3rd and 4th strings together with our index and middle finger. That second pluck is on the 2 beat, and then on the 3 beat we go back to the bass note, and then on the end beat after the 3 we go back to the 4th and 3rd strings, and then we're going to do a muted slap after that. Now most of that sound just comes from the side of your thumb coming down and hitting the 6th and 5th string as it comes down. And when you hit those strings hit the metal strips, and it gives you that percussive snare sound. So that slap occurs on a 4 beat, and then right after that slap, we're going to hit the bass note again. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That's it for the timing of the first bar. To add some more subtlety to this, that pluck shouldn't be held out. You should actually pluck it and then quickly cut it off to give it that more staccato sound. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that's it for the first bar. For the second bar, we stay on this A minor. On the end beat after the 1, we're going to pluck the 4th and 3rd strings. Then we're going to slap on the 2 beat, and then we play the 6th string, 5th string with our thumb, and then pluck the 4th and 3rd strings again with our index and middle finger, slap on the 4 beat, and then go back to our bass note. So all those parts are played one after the other. There are no pauses here. It's all 8th notes. And 2 and 3 and 4 and... When we put the 1st and 2nd bar together, it will sound like this. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and... Now that might be a little tricky for the beginners out there, so just take it really slow and 1 bar at a time. And then we're going to move to our next chord shape, which is a C major. Now we don't necessarily need to bar this bar chord. You only need to push down the 6th, 5th, 4th and 3rd strings. And we're going to play the exact same finger picking pattern and rhythm and hitting the exact same strings. You just have a different chord shape now. So for the C chord, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we move to our next chord shape, which is an F major. Now you can play this F major bar chord like this, or you can play it like this, where your ring finger will actually bar across the 10th fret of the 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings. That's how I prefer to play it, because it's a little cramped trying to fit all 3 fingers like this, but you can do it either way. Now in terms of rhythm, our finger picking pattern remains exactly the same. Where we hit each note remains exactly the same. However, now we're plucking all the strings 1 string down. So our bass note now is the 5th string, and we're going to pluck the 2nd and 3rd strings together. And then towards the end of the 2nd bar, it's 5th string, 4th string, and then 2nd, 3rd. And all together for that F chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Moving on to our second last bar, we're going to go to an E minor 7 chord shape like this. So it's E minor bar chord, but you're going to lift your pinky finger so that 7th fret rings out with our 2nd and 3rd strings. Our rhythm is going to be exactly the same for these 2 bars. However, we now have 2 chords within these 2 bars. So for this first bar, we're going to start on this E minor 7, but after the slap, we're going to go up to this G bar chord like this. It was similar to the F, but just up 2 frets. So for the first bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the rest of the picking pattern is identical. We're just staying on this G chord. And 2 and 3 and 4 and in total for those 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that's it for the finger picking in the studio version, and altogether it will sound like this. And at a faster speed. The only variation to that rhythm in the song is in the second pre-chorus, and we just have one liner tab here for this second pre-chorus. The only thing that differs is the very final bar. So instead of staying on this C, we go down to a G bar chord and just strum that twice. So the second pre-chorus sounds like this. If you hate bar chords and that was way too difficult for you, then let's try the same thing but with open chords. We're going to keep the same finger picking pattern and rhythm though. So in terms of chords, we'll start with an A minor open chord shape like this. Our bass note is now the 5th string, and we're going to be plucking the 2nd and 3rd strings together. Now timing is exactly the same as what I taught you in that studio version just previously. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Our next chord is a C chord, so we're going to just go to an open C chord, and our finger picking pattern and the strings that we're going to pluck are identical. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Next we go to an F chord. Our bass note now will be the 6th string, but all the other strings we're going to pluck are identical. So the F, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go to an E minor chord like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. After that slap we go to a G chord, open G chord, and the finger picking pattern is identical. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it for the easier open chord version of this finger picking pattern. So it'll sound like this. Finally, I'm going to teach you how to play the electric guitar riff, which is a lot of fun to play. You're going to start with 13th fret of the 2nd string, and then we go with our ring finger, 14th fret of the 3rd, and with your middle finger, 14th fret of the 4th string. And then we go back up to the 13th fret, down to the 12th of the 2nd string, and then you move up 1 string to the 12th fret of the 3rd string, and everything so far. And then we have a run of 5 notes. So that 12th fret again, then 13th of the 2nd, 12th fret of the 2nd, 14th fret of the 3rd, and back up to the 12th fret, which sounds like this. And in total for the first line. And then for our second line, we go 13th fret with our middle finger this time, 12th fret of the 3rd string with our index and ring finger on the 14th fret of the 4th. And then 13th fret of the 2nd, 12th fret, and back to the 12th fret of the 3rd string. Then we have another 5 note run, which goes 12th fret, 13th of the 2nd, 12th fret of the 2nd, 14th fret of the 3rd, and then 12th fret of the 3rd string. And that's second line in total. Then with our ring finger, you come onto the 15th fret of the 4th string, and then 13th fret of the 2nd, so we're going to skip a string, and then hit it another 2 times. So those first 4 notes. And then you're going to go back to the 15th fret another 2 times, and then play that 13th fret again. At the very end of this line of tab, we go down to the 12th fret of the 2nd string. So in total for the 3rd line, for the 4th line of this riff, we have a 5 note phrase here, which goes 13th fret, 12th, 13th, 12th, and then go up 1 string, 12th fret of the 3rd string. And then for our next phrase, it's 8 notes. We're going to start with the 12th fret of the 2nd string, and then we go 13th, 12th, 13th twice, down to the 12th, 14th of the 3rd string, and then back up to the 12th fret of the 2nd string. And those 8 notes. And then we just end this riff by hitting the 13th fret of the 2nd string. So altogether, the main riff sounds like this. Now, if you want to add a little extra dynamic to that riff and make it sound exactly like the recording, then you need to add palm muting to the notes as well. So take the fleshy bit of your palm, rest it lightly on the edge of the bridge, and each time you hit a note, then it's kind of palm muted and has that very staccato sound to it. So now I'll be doing a playthrough of both the studio version and the easy version with a vocal track on top for some context. A big thank you to my friend Amanda for lending her beautiful vocals to this playthrough. Be sure to check out her YouTube channel, there's a link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to head over to guitarzerotahero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to take your guitar to the next level, then sign up to GZ2H Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. It'd mean the world if you could hit that like button, hit subscribe, click the little notification bell as well so that you don't miss out on my updates. Please leave your thoughts, comments, questions, and requests down below, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.